What up, fight fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fight Library. This is episode 214, which was really hard to do with my fingers. So I remembered what episode number we're on today because I didn't last Sunday. Rough. Anyways, yes, episode 214 of the Fight Library. Today we are talking about UFC Vegas 44, Jose Aldo versus Rob Font. Fantastic. Great card, a bunch of cool fights on there. You've got Vince Morales, Luis Smolka, great fight. Alex Morono's back fighting Mickey Gall. I like Morono, Mickey, William Knight's back, the heavyweight. I think that's the same William Knight. But so let's go ahead and dive in. It's a great card. Before we get into this though, drop a follow, drop a sub, drop a review. It's great for the podcast and great for the YouTube channel. So I would greatly appreciate that. Drop a comment too. Tell me what you're looking forward to this weekend. I comment back to everybody. Unlike Joe Rogan, I actually read the comments. Probably to my disadvantage too, because I'll get in a fight with somebody eventually one day. You can bet on it. Also, if you're feeling extra happy with me, support me on Patreon. Patreon boys, we get free content, or I give out free content every month. Not free. I give out content every month for Patreon only. $5 a month gets you access, and it's a pretty good bargain with the stuff I put out. For example, last Monday I put out Age is Not Just a Number, the immaturity of Teofimo Lopez, talking about how his young mindset and feeling of invincibility cost him his fight against George Kambosos. Cost him his fight and his belts. So yeah, let's go ahead though and actually talk about these fights because they're great. Jose Aldo versus Rob Font, bantamweight bout. It seems like forever ago that people were like, "Oh my God, Jose Aldo at light or at bantamweight's terrible." It was in 2019. It was December. He made his debut against Marlon Moraes, right? He was supposed to fight Henry Cejudo. That fell through when Aldo got hurt. That was canceled for coronavirus. And then he fought Petr Yan for the vacant belt. Comes back, rebounds, finally gets a win, even though everybody's like, oh, he beat Marlon Moraes. So he dropped 3 in a row, which is like, whoa, Aldo's out, bro. This was his worst stretch since losing to Conor, beating Frankie, then losing to Max twice. So anyways, Petr Yan, he ended up beating him. He had a decent showing against Yan. That's probably due to the familiarity between the two, because they train together, they spar together. And then he comes back in December of last year, so just over a year ago, or just under a year ago, I should say. It was on the 19th. Beat Chito Vera via unanimous decision, and it was really just like sunning him, like absolutely making him look like a fool. And we all like Chito Vera because he beat Sean O'Malley, and he's Chito Vera and he's awesome. But yeah, then at 265, Jose Aldo fought Pedro Munoz and sunned him. He's fighting Rob Font now. Rob Font is 19-4. We all know Rob Font from his last win over Cody Garbrandt. But if you look, also, he has some really, really well-aged wins. Moraes, not so much, but it was a first-round knockout. Ricky Simon he beat, and Sergio Pettis. He has a win over Thomas Almeida and Rafael Fiziev. He'd lost to. He lost to Pedro Munoz, lost to Lineker, but his recent run has actually been pretty decent. He's kind of turned things around, racked up 4 wins in a row. So he's number 4, I believe, right now in the UFC's rankings, and Aldo's serving kind of a similar role he did at featherweight. Right now, kind of a gatekeeper since losing to Yan, but he can get another title shot with a win. Let's not make a mistake about thinking that. He can get a title shot with a win, but Aldo would have to win probably 2 more to get a title shot, honestly. So this is an interesting style matchup. We all know Jose Aldo. We've watched him for years, and he's just phenomenal. And he seems to be turning it around again at bantamweight. I mean, he's young, though. Keep in mind, he's only 35. Well, he's now up to 35. He's getting older for the lower weight, but he's still not, like, is he 40 or anything like that? But his you go back and watch the Pedro Munoz fight, and he's quick. His combinations are great. He works the body well. Pedro uses the leg kick a lot, and he was giving him none of that. He checked the leg kick, which is incredible if you think about it. Not really. It's common sense. But everybody else doesn't know that. But yeah, anyways, so he looked good in that Munoz fight. But coming into this, Rob Font's really good. He's got a strong jab, and his hands are really, really crisp. I like what Font brings to the table, especially, when he beat up Cody. Cody's got fast hands. It's kind of similar to Jose. He's got really fast hands. Now, Cody headhunts more. So Aldo has that weapon. He's not going to let him kick the legs, which Font likes to do. He likes to come in with some kicks, but Aldo's not going to let him do that. So he's going to have to pressure Jose Aldo, which we know Aldo has issues with in the past. That's how Max beat him. That's how Volkanovski beat him. So, and Petr Yan actually eventually went on and beat him that way as well. So what does Jose Aldo have to do to win this fight? Because it's not thinking about it at first, I was like, oh, this is going to be a runaway fight. And then, no, it's not. It's not a runaway fight. This is a tough fight for Aldo. Honestly, Aldo needs to go to the body, and he needs to kick the legs. Plain and simple. I don't know if Rob Font knows how to check the leg kicks, or if he has the ability to. We'll find out, because I believe if you look back at Aldo's last fight, he really did a number in that last round against Pedro Munoz with the leg kick. So he kicks his legs, and I think it's like 4 times, and Pedro's already fallen over. And everybody for years has been crying, Aldo doesn't kick the legs anymore. And he finally goes back to it this fight, and oh my gosh, they're still heavy. Even heavier at bantamweight maybe, because it took 4 to knock down Pedro with that. So he needs to kick Font's legs, because Font's jabbing, and the legs come first. So, the low calf kick kind of just hurt him, punish him every time he comes in. Font's going to have to crowd Aldo. He's going to have to, Aldo likes to wait and set up his traps, and he likes to decide when to go. But if you make him, if you force him to go, he's going to have a bit better of a time. And Volkanovski did a really good job of that, but mainly Max Holloway did the best job of that, because we know Max brings that super high volume, just attack to his game. Font showed similar shades of that against Cody, just kind of putting in work. He's not trying to knock you out. He's trying to just make you miserable. On the other side, Aldo, like I said, kicks and the body work. We saw how well Font looked with his gas tank at 135, against Garbrandt. He went the distance and just beat him up. It was rough. So if I'm Aldo, I'm lead hook to the body, which he does, and he does well. If putting a gun to my head, I'm taking Jose Aldo in this fight. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Jose Aldo. It's not going to be the most beautiful, or it might be. He might come out and look like his old self, and leg kicks and body to the head and just beautiful combinations, because he showed shades of that in the last fight. So he might come out and do that. He might fell in love with that again, but I don't know. But is this fight unwinnable for Rob? No. Rob Font can definitely go out there and win this. But if you look at his losses against Asuncao, he was patient. Pedro got him with a ghillie, and then John Lineker just beat him up. So there's that opportunity, but Font's gotten better. So you have to keep that in mind too. Co-main event is a banger: Brad Riddell versus Rafael Fiziev. That's 2 Tiger Muay Thai guys, which is interesting. Fiziev is the coach at Tiger Muay Thai, and Riddell, city kickboxing guy, but he spends time, or has spent time, at Tiger Muay Thai. That is a banger of a fight. My real concern with Fiziev is his gas tank. We saw against Bobby Green, he put on a high pace, but he couldn't quite go the 3 rounds. So I want to see him more reserved in this fight. And Riddell and him, they have this opportunity to put on a great fight, like an absolute banger of a fight. This has the opportunity to be fight of the night. Make no mistake about that. I want to see it. Clay Guida, Leonardo Santos, old man fight. Jimmy Crute's back after getting leg kicked by Anthony Smith and dead-legged, basically. He's fighting Jamal Hall. So if you look, Crute has a win against McCalcus. Olasechuk, I don't know how to say his name. Lost to Misha Serkinov, but he beat Sam Alvey, Paul Craig, and then first was his Contender Series. Nothing really incredible on the regional scene. He beat a Stephen Warby, who's 10-2, and he was 5-0 at the time, so that was a big step up. I like Jimmy Crute. He's taking on Jamal Hill. Jamal's a good fighter too. Another Contender Series product, just coming off a loss to Paul Craig. So wrestling might want to be something that he needs to look at there. Brian Barberina is actually fighting on this card. He was supposed to fight Matt Brown. He's getting a newcomer in Darian Weeks. Don't know who that is. Chris Curtis is back, though. After his last huge win, he was getting beat up in his UFC debut. Finally makes his UFC debut. Phil Hawes is just whooping up on him. And then at the end of the first round, this was at UFC 268, so this is not too long. It was just over a month ago by the time he fights, or under a month ago, really. And he catches him with a beautiful counter, and it just puts him away. So be on the lookout for that. He's fighting Brendan Allen, though, who is from Denham Springs, which is right down the road from me. I don't know who to pull for there. I like Chris Curtis a lot, and I like Brendan Allen a lot. So we'll see. Maki Pitolo is back. Decent fight. He's fighting Dusko Todorovic. Middleweight. I'll take it, though. Jake Matthews and Jeremiah Wells, though. Matthews is always fun. I remember him specifically from getting eye gouged by Li Jingliang, who just got mauled by Khamzat Chimaev. Jeremiah Wells is 9-2-1, a less than stellar record there, but he's got a win over Warley Alves. Then that was his UFC debut. Okay. I really got to go with Jake Matthews there. He's got really good hands. He's real fun. He'll probably win that fight. Some Kazakh guy versus Manel Kape. Let's see who this guy is for. I haven't even researched this guy. Jerome Rivera, he has a loss to Amir Albazi and Raul Pavia. Okay, he's a Fight Nights Global guy. That's where he's from. He beat Ali Baghdadov. He's got a win over Tyson Nam, who's currently in the UFC. That's a good win. He's a decent guy. How's he win? Unit, decision. All right, so he beat Jerome Rivera via guillotine choke, probably his first finish. Manel Kape, will remember him from his fights. It's so funny. He comes into the UFC, he fights Pantoja, which was like a tall task for him. He won the Ryzen belt before Kyoji took it away. He won the Ryzen belt. No, he won it from Kai Asakura after Kyoji beat him up a long time ago. All right, that's right. Anyways, he makes his UFC debut. Alexander Pantoja, decision, loss, because he didn't do enough in the first two rounds, and he comes out round 3 blazing. Matthias Nicolau, same thing. So in his last fight, UFC 265 against Ode Osborne, he comes out and he actually puts on a good performance, and he gets that flying knee knockout. So maybe this lights a fire under his ass, saying, hey, I've actually got to fight, because I'm in the UFC now, and if I want to be actually good, I have to fight. I have to win. So, Mallory Martin, Claudio Puelles, Jared Veranda versus Amzat Mirzakhanov. That's going to be a rough one. Who's Amzat Mirzakhanov? He's 10-0. Oh, he's a brave guy. And an ACB guy. Oh, man. Yeah, he's going to beat the hell out of Vendera. That's it. And then obviously you got Alex Morono, who should run through Mickey Gall. Morono has the experience. Mickey Gall fought CM Punk, but Morono beat David Zawada. He beat Donald Cerrone. A close fight with Anthony Pettis, but he lost to him. Reese McKee, he won. And all that's after that 27-second knockout to Chaos Williams. So, he's got some other good wins like Max Griffin, Zach Adao, Song Kanan. He's been around for a long time. He really has. So, I like Alex, and I think he wins that fight too. Real fun fighter. Mickey Gall, he came in hyped as hell because he beat CM Punk. Then he beat Sage Northcutt, lost to Randy Brown, beat George Sullivan, lost to Diego Sanchez, and it was like Diego looked good. Lost to Mike Perry, beat Jordan Williams, But there's no way he beats Alex Morono. That's a Houston guy. And then Vince Morales and Luis Smolko. That's a really close fight to open up the card at 135. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please, if you do, drop a sub. Drop a review. It's great for the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. That's going to be it for me. And I've got ice cream on my fingers. That's not poop, I promise. See, I ate it. Anyways, follow me on Twitter, Blaine Henry TFL. Ask me questions. Sound off in the comments and Patreon, $5 a month. Get in, support the podcast, support the channel, and just be a homie. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out.